12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 1, tension. Number 2, resistance. Number 3, arrogant aggressiveness. Number 4, negation as a way of life. Number 5, quandary. Number 6, unbelief. Number 7, inferiority. Number 8, life of loneliness. Number 9, laissez-faire. Number 10, irritation. Number 11, trepidation. Number 12, yesterday incorporated. The Search for Self-Respect by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, published in 1973, page 165. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Every day in your mind, while you are taking a walk or quietly sitting in a chair, when you have time, focus on these 12 negative forces and wage war on them so that you can have peace. Number 1, tension. Tension. Tranquility and tension are opposites. They cannot coexist. Life brings with it problems and tensions. But stresses and strains are there for you to overcome, not to retain as a way of life. You can look at tensions as stimuli, giving you creative opportunities to prove yourself and find renewed respect for yourself. With an active approach to living, you move through life's tensions to your goals. Then, with tension shrugged aside, you can relax. Change creates tension because people must readjust to newness, and this is always difficult. Change is so rapid in our swift-moving world, vibrating to the constant dynamism of our complex technology and its multifaceted products, that many people give in to the tension habit. Above and beyond the load of tensions that we cannot avoid, we burden ourselves with unnecessary tension. We worry about things that never happen and bury ourselves in obsessive anxieties. We take a passive view of life's uncertainties. This passivity renders us helpless to forces we cannot cope with, so that we can only tie ourselves up with tension in our helplessness. To overcome tension, you must take a more active approach to living. Wake up in the morning and think of something constructive to brighten your day. Then get off your back and, fighting off your worries and your doubts, get out into the world and live the best way you can. After a good go at your goals, you are ready for your trip to the good land, tranquility. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 2, resistance. Resistance. Resistance can be positive. Take, for example, the resistance movements that were organized in France and other European countries during World War II to oppose the Nazi tyranny by slowing down troop movements, blowing up bridges and railroad tracks, and hiding and protecting people the Nazis wanted to kill. When your resistance consists of negation of your successful goal-directedness, you produce only frustration and destroy not your enemy, but your emotional friend, tranquility. When the French resistance in the early 1940s dynamited a train full of Nazi war munitions bound for the front, saving the lives of American doughboys, that was a good thing. When you sabotage your worthwhile daily goals, placing roadblocks all around you in resistance of your legitimate satisfactions, that is not so good. For your peace of mind, you must fight off your own self-defeating resistance to your worthwhile plans. You must appreciate that you have rights, that you are deserving, and that you are a decent human being with an overpowering need for happiness. You are not inferior and unworthy. One more again. You are not inferior and unworthy. You must not stop yourself in your tracks with the crippling negation of your inner resistance to your growth. When you overcome your resistance, cast off your chains, and reject your prison, you can travel to the golden land of tranquility. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 3, arrogant aggressiveness. Arrogant aggressiveness. We all need aggressiveness to move toward our goals. When you move toward goals which are within your training and your other capacities and which are socially constructive, your aggressiveness in pursuing these goals serves you well. Indeed, this constructive type of aggressiveness spurs you on to achievements. But arrogant aggressiveness is a different kettle of fish. It is asking for trouble, and trouble is what you'll get. The arrogantly aggressive individual is ruthless and inconsiderate. He will tolerate no interference with his goals. He cares nothing for other people's feelings and will step on their toes or crush their egos with his dominating personality to reach his goals. In his arrogance, he recognizes no limitations. In a sense, he's a baby reaching for his bottle. He wants that bottle, and he will raise an earth-shaking commotion if he does not get it, and now. This arrogant type of aggressiveness naturally disturbs the equilibrium of other people. It then rebounds from others back to the initiator of all the trouble. Thus, arrogant aggressiveness leads to all-around chaos. Thus, tranquility begins when you learn the difference between taking from life and giving to life. One more again. Thus, tranquility begins when you learn the difference between taking from life and giving to life. When you learn to give to life, you will be able to take happiness from life, because happiness belongs to you. You will also give consideration to other people because happiness belongs to them too. Your aggression will be goal-directed and constructively channeled, not an exercise in ruthlessness or unbounded egotism. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 4, negation as a way of life. Negation as a way of life. Will this lead to tranquility? Of course not. Anyone can see that. But is your vision clear or is it blurred? Is your vision clear or is it blurred? How is your vision? Do you seek tranquility or is your vision blurred? See today and live for today. To focus your vision, look for a happy today. Forget the painful images of your past and your fantasy images of your tomorrow. Concentrate on today, every day, and do your best every day to defeat your negative feelings and create happy days for yourself and your family. Now, today, those are your key words. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. How is your vision? Do you seek tranquility, or is your vision blurred? 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 5, quandary. Quandary. Do you spend your time in a quandary? Are you never to know what it is like to feel peace of mind? You may spend your life in a constant quandary. Many people do. Your days are unfinished symphonies of indecision. You stop and start. You turn around. Who is that worried-looking fellow staring at you? Oh, it's you. You saw yourself in the mirror. The hard-to-face reality is that many of your decisions will be extremely difficult. You will suffer through the twin tensions of conflict and uncertainty. Indecisive, you may find yourself in a continual quandary, wandering around in circles, searching for your sense of direction. As individuals, we make many difficult decisions every year, every month, perhaps every day. Do you spend your time in a quandary? Are you never to know what it is like to feel peace of mind? No, we achieve tranquility by transforming a destructive quandary into a constructive certainty. We do this by accepting ourselves when we make poor decisions as well as when we make wise decisions. We do this by looking at our failures with kind eyes and by consigning them to the past where they belong. We do this by building an image of ourselves that will stand up under trying conditions. We do this by seeing our full potential as human beings. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 6, unbelief. Unbelief. Another non-component of tranquility is unbelief. When you do not believe in yourself, you waste great amounts of precious time trying to imitate others. That's a word right there. When you do not believe in yourself, you waste great amounts of precious time trying to imitate others. This is a great destroyer of inner tranquility. Carrying someone else's image in your imagination, giving someone else this power in your mind when this power rightfully belongs to you. Unbelief is a passive attitude stemming from self-doubt and leading to defeat and despair. Doubt comes from error, and when you decide to forgive yourself and forget yesterday's errors, focusing instead on the confidence of your past successes, you take a giant step toward destroying unbelief and laying the foundations for peace of mind. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 7, inferiority. inferiority. When you walk around day in, day out, feeling a sense of inferiority eating away inside you, obviously, you cannot know what it feels like to attain tranquility. So you must out-wrestle this self-dooming sense of inferiority. You must throw off this blanket of gloom that keeps you passive to a world in which you make other people superior to you. Are others as superior as you think they are? No, they are just people. People with problems and anxieties and eccentricities, some of which they try to hide from you so you won't think they are inferior. Why do you see them as superior? Because you make mountains of your mistakes. Because you cannot forgive yourself for your human imperfections. Because your enormous and surely unreasonable guilt chokes off your creative self-expression, and you punish yourself constantly for your mountainous mistakes. You feel then, if you do this, that since you are so worthless, other people by comparison are superior to you. Furthermore, since you feel you are so inferior, you may carry this inner destructiveness out into inadequate performance in the world. Thus, you may reinforce your inferiority complex as you prove the inferiority of your image in life. To alleviate this self-destructiveness and move toward the land of tranquility, you must forgive yourself for your mistakes, past, present, and future. You must develop more human attitudes toward yourself. Tell yourself you deserve another chance. Wouldn't you say that to a friend? You deserve another chance. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 8, life of loneliness. Life of loneliness. You feel lonely sometimes when you are in a crowd of people, just as you can feel a substantial feeling of brotherly warmth when you are alone. Thus, loneliness is a feeling, not a physical state. Loneliness is also a feeling of dread. You are separate. You are cut off. You must cope with the pain of your sense of isolation. But as the late Wendell Willkie insisted, we are one world. Even before our modern jets and spaceships, we were, in a sense, one world. European culture, through the centuries, is a prime example of how cultures influence each other. Europeans learned much of Greek science from the Arabs. The mariner's compass came from China. Other inventions that helped revolutionize European culture were the spinning wheel from India and the hot air turbine from Tibet. Just as European culture was no isolated phenomenon, you too are no island. You are no island. You are no island. You are more than an individual. You are also a member of human society. At times, you may separate yourself to feel your unique selfhood more fully, but for peace of mind, you must also feel a sense of brotherhood and perhaps of identification with other people. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 9, laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. I do not mean the economic philosophy urging a governmental policy of non-interference, but rather your attitude of accepting things as they are, an overly passive attitude. You don't even try to change things. You may think that such a non-interfering and laissez-faire attitude toward life brings tranquility, but it does not. It brings passiveness, apathy, and inertia. Not the same thing as tranquility at all. Contrary to what many people think, you must adopt an active approach toward tranquility. You must work for it. You must fight for it. You must want it very much. You must move toward your goals. You must keep fighting for them. You do not give up easily. You feel your energy bubbling in you as you move. Then, when you stop driving and relax, you are truly tranquil. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 10, irritation. Irritation. Irritation has always been a precondition to living. We must consider how to handle our irritation. We cannot run and hide. You will always meet people who will irritate you. You will always face situations which will irritate you. What do? You utilize the healing power of forgiveness. After you have tried your hardest to make the best of your irritation, and your continuing irritation is only a form of self-destruction, you forgive. You forgive others, and you forgive yourself. There may have been considerable provocation, but you forgive and forget. As you do, you move toward the cool green pastures of tranquility. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 11, trepidation. Trepidation. In the chronic sense, trepidation means anxiety as a way of life. Anxiety as a way of life. You must overcome the emotional scars, not the physical ones, that cause so much anxiety in you. You must overcome the emotional scars, not the physical ones, that cause so much anxiety in you. You must be your own emotional plastic surgeon. With compassion for yourself, you must forgive. Your emotional scars are invisible, but they may cause you chronic consternation. You remove them when you forgive yourself for your past thoughts, for your past actions, and for all the mistakes of yesterday. When you have successfully removed your emotional scars, you will begin to live in the present with tranquility. 12 negative forces that you must combat if you are to succeed in reaching the land of tranquility. Number 12, Yesterday Incorporated. Yesterday Incorporated. The members of Mañana Incorporated have dedicated themselves to delaying almost everything until tomorrow. Their belief in tomorrow is so fervent that they never do anything today. The members of Yesterday Incorporated also do nothing, or very little, today. They live in the past, not the future. But the result is the same. very little creative living today. If you are a member, resign from Yesterday Incorporated. This corporation has no earnings, declares no dividends, and is headed for bankruptcy. So resign. You will find the land of tranquility only when you live for today. Please like, share, and subscribe for more history, mystery, and wisdom. Thank you for watching.